Hi, everyone. Welcome to Wild Breakaway with Ben Clymer. I'm Audra Martin. With the trade deadline in the rearview mirror, this intact Minnesota Wild team took on a injury-riddled Columbus Blue Jackets team in downtown St. Paul. That Blue Jackets team was determined, and they were relentless, kept fighting their way and battling their way back into this game. Even a 4-1 lead for Minnesota was not enough to keep them at bay. It was a 5-4 final and a big 2 points for Minnesota.
Yeah, nail-biter right down to the final minutes of this game. It was a big game, though, in a lot of different regards. One, Mikko Koivu stayed here. What did Mikko Koivu do? Comes out, scores a couple of big goals. First goal since November. Great to see Mikko back on the score sheet in a place where he really should be. Also, looking up and down the lineup, Zach Parise, 4 shots. Really enjoyed his game. Alex Stalock under some, fluky bounces. Not necessarily, the game that he wanted, but not necessarily a game where you could say, hey, you should have made that save. I mean, puck bouncing all over like it was in a microwave. But all in all, for the Minnesota Wild, the favorite aspect of their game for me was their start. They came out, were absolutely all over the Columbus Blue Jackets. That's exactly what you need to do with a team that has the injuries that you spoke about.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So here's a look at some final stats here tonight. The Wild had the clear advantage when it comes to shots on net. Another weird game when it comes to special teams. It's been some streaks here. 6 games without a power play goal for Minnesota, but 7 straight perfect games on the penalty kill. So good to see that aspect continue. You talked about Mikko Koivu. It was his first goal since November 9th. That snaps a 30-game drought in his first multi-goal game since January 5th of 2017. So great to see the captain getting it done here for the Minnesota Wild, who were taking on a Columbus team that was not going to go down without a fight.
I honestly don't think we sat back. I think they just kept coming and kept coming. And but what we liked, and we just talked about it, was our bench was very positive. There was no sag. It was just the guys were saying the right things, pushing up after they scored, and it's a good sign for us for sure.
So now the Wild hit the road for a pair of back-to-back games starting Thursday night against the Detroit Red Wings, and then they will take on the Columbus Blue Jackets yet again to wrap up the month of February. But that game Thursday night comes against a team in Detroit that has had some struggles this season, to say the least. They have just 3 wins in their last 20 games.
20 points behind the Ottawa Senators. 34 points, the Ottawa Senators. I'm telling you, Wes Walz might be able to make the Ottawa Senators, and this team is that much worse. And they traded some of their best players away. So for the Minnesota Wild, this is exactly the same blueprint that we just saw come out hard in the first period. Play, a very smothering offensive game with zone time in the offensive zone. If they can do that in the first 20 minutes, establish that it's going to be a very, uncomfortable, not a fun night to be in St. Paul. They're very likely to walk out of this building with a win.
Well, the Wild took down the Red Wings 4-2 not too long ago. We'll see what is in store for Game 2. Should be an exciting one, and hopefully 2 more points for the Minnesota Wild. Thanks for joining us tonight on Wild Breakaway. For Ben Clymer, I'm Audra Martin. We'll see you next time.